was a backup, but he obviously is very good. Your thoughts maybe on how your team defended him? Did you expect him to be that good?
Well, we thought he could throw the ball well, just from what the little bit of tape we saw, and we didn't see anything concept-wise that we hadn't seen. We really had an extra day of preparation, so all the same routes that were working against us today, I really felt, and obviously misevaluated, thought we were ready to handle, but we weren't because it happened multiple times. And again, I think our players will do exactly what they're asked to do. And so he just delivered the ball where it was supposed to. They made a real focused effort on protection, meaning 7- and 8-man protection, 2 and 3 guys out in the routes to make sure we couldn't get to them. And the routes took longer to develop downfield and more time to cover. Even when we were dropping 8, they were completing passes. And so, again, their plan and execution was well, and they played at a higher level than we did. And their quarterback deserves credit for doing what he was supposed to do, which he did.
So their pass production, would you pin that more as a lack of preparation from the coaching staff or a lack of execution from the secondary?
Well, I think it's both. I think, again, the players play as they're prepared. And so anytime we don't perform well, I always look at myself first, and I could have prepared them much better, obviously. Otherwise, they would have performed better.
What did you think of Riley Nelson's performance?
I thought there was a lot of progress made through, again, about 3.5 quarters. Man, I saw our offense probably as clean as I've seen it this year in terms of running and passing and scoring points. And we forced the issue a little bit at the end and made some poor decisions as more and more pressure shifted offensively, as defensively we weren't defending again very well. And so I thought that's where it unraveled a little bit, but the majority of the game, and I thought he played well.
Bronco, safe to say, if you thought you'd get 24 points, you'd be in pretty good shape.
Oh yeah, I would have been great or felt great if I thought that's what would have happened. And so again, I still see that as a positive offensively that we did to make some strides.
You had 2 tipped balls that cost you 2 touchdowns off of tipped passes. Those are just the breaks. You got to bounce back. The guys just didn't seem to, be able to come back a couple of times after those tipped passes.
Yeah, I don't know really how to answer that question other than that was one of those days where not many bounces went our way, and usually that's a reflection of, again, just sometimes that just happens. Other times it's again tied to the plan and the execution. So we've been making a lot of plays, and they made a lot of plays today. They made more plays to win.
In all 3 losses, you haven't been able to get control of the game going front, and I know you've been able to come back multiple times, but how big of a difference would have been able to put a drive together and maybe be able to take a lead and kind of have control?
I think that would have been great. Dead even at halftime. I thought it would go like that right to the very end. Again, they continued to get some big chunks through the air and make some critical plays, and eventually we were trying to match score for score and started not to, which then more pressure shifted and then some mistakes occurred.
I don't have the numbers on me, but it seemed like on offense, Oregon State was targeting whoever Jordan was guarding. Did you feel that way at all during the course of the game?
In the beginning, yes, and so we took some measures and protected him a little bit. And again, anytime you work and roll one way, there are weaknesses elsewhere, and their routes and their concepts were just exceptional. So again, my hat's off to them. They really did a nice job in terms of their plan.
But your receivers, you caught the ball with Cody and Tim, but they weren't able to get behind him. Were you kind of stuck in a possession sort of mode?
Yeah, Oregon State wasn't playing super aggressive. They were playing, I think, to prevent balls from going over the top, and so that just forces consistency from beginning of the game to end. And while they were giving up scores, ultimately at the end, their strategy won.
Them basically scoring on their first possession, did you feel like it took some of the swagger from your defense, that your defense came into the game with?
Not necessarily. I think it was reflective of the first couple series. Their plan didn't really change after that, or their first 2 scores, and I really thought we would have, and I would have, better answers. Thought they were, just didn't execute them well enough, and so that's where it became frustrating, I think, to all of us, is that even things that we thought would be the right play into the right play, we weren't executing it very well. And again, that's preparation. That's on me.
How would you evaluate what's been going on at tight end recently?
I think we took a step back today. We didn't catch the ball well, and I think Connie had been playing really well early in the season, making clutch catches, et cetera. Today, it seemed like we struggled to just catch it cleanly and move forward.